Good evening, good happy weekend, happy 4th of July weekend, all the good stuff. Wave a hand at everybody. Whew. Long weekend for me. So now, time to sort my EIAs that I have over here. These are not mine, these are the customers. Bear with me for a second, I gotta put this in here before it goes missing. There's one. Two. 3. 4. 5. I think I'll use that one. Actually, 6, 7, 8. I say that I think I'll use that one, but 9, 10. All right. So let's put this one up here. Oh, there's a few of those. Alright, so set this back, and this can go up there. 1, 2, I'll do that later. We just need one box for today. But for now. Flange. Here's our center contact, but I'm going to go ahead and trade, since I've got a new one here. Put this one over here with the other ones. And do this before I forget. Starting with them. Kind of neat little trick for anybody who works with this stuff. Alright, for anybody who works with this stuff, if you look, I've got a fairly clean cut right here. I've got a small bend on the flange here and a small bend on the flange here. But I have absolutely no copper whatsoever in here. There's multiple different methods for cutting this stuff. But I just found a neat one. I'm always looking to improve, speed up my time, make a more uniform cut or anything like that. So what I want to do is I'm just making a straight line. I'm not using this for a cut. I'm using it for a line. And that wasn't straight. I bumped it with my knee. Alright, pretty close to that on where I need to be. Check it out. Little husky tool. Remember, it actually works. That was pretty neat. So I'm going to try it for another method real quick, because y'all can see what I'm going to do next. Anything you can ever do to save yourself time and effort, do it. I mean, there's no set method to doing this. You can use a fancy tool to do it, which again, this is one of those situations where I've mentioned to people who follow my stuff in the past. This is another one of those situations where the customer asked me to build something and I didn't have the tools that I needed to do it here. So I can't do that. I was wanting to see if I could cheat. I cannot do it for that part, but I can do it for my main cut, so I thought that was pretty neat. Back to the crappy little razor blade that I have at this location. I wish I had a better one. I'm just going to start my line where I want it. I may trim back a little bit more after this. I just need to get close to where I need to be. This is a scour mark, just gives me a line to know where to go to. If you try to use this tool to actually cut with it, what happens is it will actually flatten out the corrugation. So, not really the smartest choice when you're trying to build something for someone. I really wish I had a sharper razor blade, because you are going to see me here for the next 10 minutes fiddling with this thing. If I had a sharper blade, you live, you learn. Next time I'll have 10 of these, so I don't have to use a dull razor blade. But it is what it is. So now that I got my line, I've just got a guide to follow. Just got to follow the guide. Not sure how, okay, oh yeah, I can see. Waving if anybody's saying anything, hello, hello. Hope y'all had a good 4th of July weekend, and what's left of it still. Gotten better than I thought. Just to be honest, I didn't have super high expectations for this razor blade. I've dealt with it before. Not as bad as I figured, almost. Now again, anybody with the proper tools to cut this, good on you. I'm not really trying to show this to somebody who has all the tools, because most people have a hard time affording just this part nonetheless. They don't really have the money to buy all the rest of the tools. So I'm not out here to try to be perfect and show everybody this fancy tool that they couldn't even afford. I mean, you can get this stuff at Home Depot. Just a regular cutting tool, razor blade, and a pipe cutter. Alright. So, kind of, that's the concept, just so y'all see it. But, let me get back to work. So, see how I said I might have to go back just a hair more? I do. You want these little inner rings to seat on the inside of the corrugation, so I'm gonna have to go back just a little bit more. It's not as hard to cut the second time as it is the first, just so y'all know. I say that, but watch me spend twice the time on it. Make a scour mark for myself, because I'm not go crooked. As much as I say I've done a bunch of these, it doesn't matter. It still doesn't make my my line marking is the best ever. I'm a little pickier than most people, so most people would stop right there, but I'm not. Y'all can hang on if y'all want. I've got to knock the last little bit of edge off of this. It's just, I'm doing this for an indoor connector, even though it doesn't matter. The way I'm doing it, I like to seat it just because I want to. If I can make this line start. I gotta build this anyway, so if y'all end up getting bored, I get it. But y'all can feel free to hang it up and watch it if y'all want to see it. I don't do these necessarily so that everybody has something quick and easy to watch. I just do it while I'm working because I'll have to do it anyway. So that's the reason I share. One, because I think y'all, because y'all told me that y'all like it, and two, because I gotta build it anyway, so might as well. It don't matter how many times you've built these. And how many times you put together some high-powered stuff. You can always screw up and always have to redo it. So don't get too discouraged if you're putting something together and it doesn't line up perfectly the first time. I literally just had to take that apart, 3 times? Just to line it up where I need it and where I wanted it. So don't think that you have to be absolutely perfect with this stuff. It's important whenever you're doing a sealed connection that you make room for an O-ring seal. The O-ring is going to go right here along the inner edge, right here. And what it would do in this situation, right here, hang on a second. Let's see which one you want here. Inner. Nope, it's inner. What it would do is normally go along right on the inside of this edge right here. And what it does is just seals your connection off. Just make sure it doesn't run off. Excuse me, leak water or anything like that. This is an indoor connection, so I'm just leaving it off just because, I mean, I've got one right there, but I don't want to waste it. So it really seems like a waste if I'm using my EA on that flange on the inside. From here, all I gotta do is make a little scour line, no matter what it is. What I'm going to do is knock off this top edge right here, where whenever I cut this is only my second time cutting with that new method, where I cut this slightly crooked. I wanted to straighten it up real quick. I'm going to see if I can do it. Y'all can hang out. Y'all having out in the comments or something. Alright. So, y'all have some fun. I want to see how this cuts a tight edge. Worst case scenario, I'll have to redo it, but I like it because it can save me potentially quite a bit of time. So I want to see how it cuts. No, not right there. My head's going to be in the way for a second, guys. Sorry. I got to do this. I got to see what I'm doing. Y'all can watch in a minute. Still gotta work on this edge, so y'all have to just bear with me for a second. Y'all can feel free to hang out. I gotta find a tool I set down. Whenever you set down something, it always goes away from where you want it to be. There it is. Alright, so I'm going to have to use something else because that makes too sharp of an edge. That's a sharp edge and it does a great job for that first plan I had, but I can't do it for the second part just because this connection's weak. So I'm going to have to run my snip along the edge, see if I can cut a straight edge with this clipper. Alright, these are designed for 10 snips. Really doesn't matter what you use with them. I'm just trying to straighten up an edge, and I want to try to do a method that you guys can kind of follow. The only reason being is if I do this way, then what it does is it saves me time whenever I'm working because I don't have to go back through my prep and do cleanup, because cleanup's a big portion of what you do here. If you make a mistake, what happens is the copper will get in the foam and then you will not be able to get it out. You'll have to have a Dremel tool or some sort. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a ream around this edge right here. I'm going to have to use my Dremel, but not for that reason. I did that was to get inside this edge right here and ream out the copper. So whenever I do this, I like to build a bigger flange edge than most do, so it gives me more of something to bite to. Most of your manuals, if you read them, they'll tell you to cut back just on the top edge of the copper. And I don't do that just because I like to have, like I said, more of a flange to work with. But when you go outside the given rules, be careful when you're doing stuff like that, because you don't want to make a mistake in your design process. I'm not sure how good you guys can hear me. Oh yeah, exactly. Start over. I mean, what's it matter? I mean, it's a hobby. We enjoy ourselves, or most people it's a hobby. There's some business people in here, and technically I'm doing it as a business, but I'm not doing these videos for business people. I'm not doing these videos for people who've built heliacs their entire life, or hardline their entire life. I'm doing it for the guys who haven't. So, I want to clean my edge. How am I going to clean that edge if I do this way? I can't do this for this video, because if I do this on this video right here and I show y'all this method, then y'all are going to make a mistake. So I need to not show y'all that right there. I need to change what I'm doing, because it really doesn't matter for what I'm doing. I've got the other end to work with. So I'm going to do this real quick. Of course, it's a waste of the video, but whatever. I never claimed to be perfect. I never claimed to be the one to show everybody how to do this the first time. I mean, if I'm having to redo it, then who cares? I mean, what would it matter? The reason I did that was because if you look at my leading edge is a little bit too far flanged over. I can get away with it with a regular connection, but I wouldn't have been able to push over the inside too much, and I would have had to start shaving. Y'all would have watched me do that, copied me, and shorted an end. I can do it, but it's just better to do it this way, especially if I'm being picky, and the customer asked me to be picky with this particular one, so I am. I mean, who cares? I've got time to do it, so I'm going to do it. So don't, like I said, like he actually, I think Jughead just mentioned, don't get discouraged. I mean, if you have to do it again, you have to do it again. So be it. What's that matter? I just sent some wire to somebody down in South Georgia this weekend, and I don't know if he'll get it on the first try, but he's got the wire, and if he wants to watch me do it, he can watch me do it. He's got somebody there who hopefully knows how to do it, so maybe he'll get what he needs. And worst case scenario, he'll go back and watch this video or the other Eia Flange video I did, and build it from there. Cutting this to look at something. Always, before you get ahead of yourself, just double check something. Like the whole reason I cut that other one was because my leading edge was a little high. And that one's perfect. So that's what my test was for. I cut into it to look. If you're not sure, check. I mean, was it? I think the biggest reason I do these videos is that I think I hear more than anything else out of all this stuff, stuff that happens on the radio and our hobby and everything else. Oh, I could never build something that big. I could never do this that big. That's just bigger than I need to go. You would not believe how many customers, how many people that I've talked to, how many individuals have said that to me, and then upgraded anyway. So, if you're gonna do it anyway, might as well. I mean, why wouldn't you? Watch what I'm doing, enjoy yourself, build up the hobby, make something else, make somebody else get bigger. I mean, it's enjoyable. I mean, it's fun. I like this stuff. It's not just a job for me. Now, of course, some of the stuff that I'm doing is a little bit more boring to me than it would be to another individual. But it doesn't mean that it's bad. I still enjoy it. It's still fun. I like building new stuff, especially knowing that I was in a part of creating another big station. I mean, that's enjoyable to me. It's not that I want to take all the credit or anything, but it's still fun. For some reason, this booger looks like it's too fat. It needs to look this way. Everybody can make mistakes, even me. If you look, this is a brand new unsealed bag. Nothing's been opened, nothing's been cut out of it or anything. And I'm wondering what the heck is going on, thinking that my inner flange, my flange for my my mating coupling is for my inner conductor. You look at another baggie, it's got 3 in there. I have no clue how they screwed that up, but I was definitely perplexed for a second there. So this is the one I want. So, might as well show you all the weather seal. So I got it. This is an O-ring. You put this compound on here just to help it slide. See, it falls right in the rings, and all it does is just stop water from leaking down into your shield. If you look, maybe I'll show y'all. What's up? Waving a hand. The inner edge of this flange is closer to that mating edge now. That's what I did, and that's why I restarted it. So, hopefully I don't kill y'all. Alright, cool. That's why I restarted that. It's just simply so you guys don't copy me whenever I do something like that. Like, because I have the ability to correct anything when I'm doing it and build it a little bit different. But rather than doing that, I'm actually going to do a different method on this one because I remembered what the customer asked me, and that's why I restarted it. All right. So, see if I can find a method to do that. I don't see a good method to do it that way. I'm thinking about what they asked me to do, and I don't see a method. So, what I'm going to do from here is just take something that doesn't leave shavings. No matter what it is. My Dremel, the tool that I've got on there is actually a grinding wheel, and that grinding wheel still can leave some shavings if I hit the copper. If I do it this way, then it's just not going to happen. The foam might look a little bit more janky just because of the way I'm cutting it, but I'm not really concerned about that. I'm concerned about what I'm doing next. See this inner edge right here that I got going on? Once I do that with the foam, I can straighten that one bent edge. So, just so y'all know. That's why I'm not really concerned about it right now. It's easy to straighten out. I did have one tiny little copper shaving in there, and I went ahead and took care of it. When you're reaming your edge out, also kind of keep in mind where your ream tool's going, and make sure you're not dropping shavings inside the foam. Because even though you wouldn't think a reamer would leave shavings, it can do that if you're not careful. It doesn't matter what reaming tool you got, any reaming tool works. All you're doing is flanging the edge out. See what I'm doing, you kind of see what's happening. Hopefully y'all can see, but if y'all can't, I apologize. Y'all just have to take my word for it because I can't move the camera around while I'm doing this. I'm on a time crunch. This customer wants to be able to key before the weekend's out. and I don't have much time left before the weekend's out, for at least my weekend. Alright, so what I did, if you see, this connection doesn't pull off anymore. So that's on. That stays there. Alright. Is there any way I can do this for them? I do not see a method. This connector is not designed for something, but I've done it before on smaller connectors. But I'm not going to do it on this one just because I don't have a good method for it. So that's what I was looking at. It's kind of something I don't really do on normal connectors. Oh, I need this though. Alright, so I'm going to cut the next piece out of the box. Huh, that's interesting. I remember seeing that. I don't know what they do. Sometimes it seems like they just kind of change their mind on some of the parts they use. Strange. Now, what I'm doing on this next piece is going to be reaming the inner edge. Andrews calls for something else, and I personally don't like their method that much, to be honest. Their method calls for you to cut the center conductor into multiple small pieces and triangulate them. I can see the concept of the reason why, but I just personally I don't like doing that because it seems like it would compromise it. Actually, I know it will. I've seen it compromise the inner conductor, especially whenever you're working with it. So it's just not something I plan on doing. I don't care what engineer built and designed something, they do not have it all figured out. Another engineer will tell you real quickly that they hate their method, but they hate that particular engineer's method. So don't like go crazy over stuff sometimes. I mean, a lot of people get locked into something and think that's the best choice that you could ever do, and it's not. I mean, I've spoken with individuals before that are much smarter than me, and here they are telling me how this person made a huge mistake when they designed and manufactured something. So don't get too set on me. I've got to do one more thing, and I'll let y'all see that. I do have to do one piece right here. I don't know if y'all be able to see it or not, but what it is I bend the leading edge of the center conductor into this little ring right here, and what it does is it locks it in place, keeps it from moving. I did that on purpose because I'm about to do something else with this piece. Normally I would stop there on most connectors and I would tell y'all that I'm done, and that would be it. This connector I'm doing something a little different just because the customer asked for it, and might as well. It's fine, ain't nothing wrong with it. You don't have to copy this part. Where I stopped and what I did a while ago was pretty much the end of the video. For the most part, I mean, there's a little bit more tightening down that needs to be done afterward to make sure this flange grabs where it's supposed to. But I'm fairly confident in where it's at, so I don't worry too much about that. But y'all see this method right here. So Sweet. Coax up, beams up. Awesome. Hey, man, I'm glad you got set up, man. It was a time crunch, but you made it happen. So. Now, y'all don't see this, but I do have a big fan blowing on me over there. I'm sure y'all can hear all the noise from it. So that does affect how hot I can get this conductor. So I gotta be careful with that. And kind of, that's why I'm leaning the way I am. I'm gonna go kick that fan off real quick. I don't need it anymore anyway. I have no direct airflow directly on me, at least, that I have to deal with. I suppose this would help a little bit more if I had more of a gut. Could use my belly as a stand. Alright. Alright, so let's pull this up to this leading edge. I'm being a little picky now, so you don't have to really pay attention to this part too much. Technically, you can just stop right there, but I'm just not having it. I like for what I'm about to be doing. I want to have a bit more of an inner flare. And if anybody who says just use a flathead or something like that, be careful. I mean, realistically, a flathead's probably one of the more dangerous tools you can use. I have probably stabbed myself more times with a flathead than I have almost any other tool, just because you're trying to poke and stab in, and whenever you finally do, you stab yourself. So be aware of that and be careful when you're working with this stuff. Again, like I said, this part right here is technically, I guess, what you would call extracurricular, so you don't have to see it too much for it to mean anything to you. Now I got everything the way I want it. I've got enough of an edge to do this the way I want. This adds a little bit of time to my build time, but it just is what it is. Now, I don't really recommend y'all to copy this, so I mean, I guess I can kind of tell you what I'm doing, but I mean, it's you can screw it up a lot more if you're not careful. So there's a lot of different ways this could be messed up. Like, one would be if I drop enough solder in the middle of this foam, then I break down the dielectric spacing. If I drop any solder down the center conductor, then I can cause a little node on the inside of the coax to see high voltage. I could have a sharp leading edge. So there's a lot of reasons why I would recommend a customer not to copy me on this. Y'all can kind of go do whatever y'all want, but just in general, if you stop the video where I was at earlier and just continued with that method, then that would be more than adequate for any power level. But the customer specifically requested that I do this, so I will. Y'all are asking me questions. I apologize for not looking, but this is kind of important. Watch what you're touching and watch how hot it is. If y'all copy me with a knife, then be prepared for heat. So don't be trying to get off scot-free. Because if you're not careful, you definitely will get burnt. This on place, so from there, and then what I'm going to go ahead and do is go ahead and screw this flange on the end of this real quick. I'll tighten it in a minute, but I've got to do something whenever you do that last extra step. It's critically important, if you ever copy that, to make sure that you go ahead and put in your center conductor, because that insulator, once the foam is your dielectric spacing, if it moves on you and changes spacing, then what will happen is it'll break down a heck of a lot faster. Yeah, definitely don't copy me on that, because there's so many mistakes you can make. I mean, just right there, that even myself, watching that center conductor move, I could have made a mistake and, oh, let me tighten this up real quick and let that settle out. And then whenever I try to line it up, it's not lined up properly. You don't want to break down your dielectric spacing with this stuff, especially if you plan on utilizing it. So, there's the fun, guys. Hope y'all enjoyed it. I'm gonna let this cool off for a few minutes. This actually will act like as a wick to the heat for sure. And then I'm gonna lock her down. Whatever. I mean, I'm this close. This is holding as my insulator. I might as well show you guys. I mean, this is just any tool you want to use. Don't matter. If you want to find the exact tool, I think it's like 2 1/16 and then 2 3/16. I don't remember. I don't generally use it very much because this grabs what I need it to do, and I get a little bit more of a bite to it. Now, if you find a 2-foot long wrench that does the same thing, all power to you, because that'll work just fine. I just got some pipe wrenches because most people have pipe wrenches laying around their house. If you don't have a pipe wrench laying around your house, then I guess you're not doing much housework. So, can't help you. There you go. Done. Finished and complete. This is something some of you guys may be more aware of. Ta-da! Sorry guys. Alright guys, well I guess I'll catch you guys later. Somebody already interrupted this video anyway. That's pretty much the completion of this one out there. Alright. Y'all have a good weekend. Hope y'all enjoyed y'all's 4th of July weekend. Waving hand. So catch y'all guys later. See ya.